All right, welcome back, everybody. Well, May is Healthy Vision Month, and to chat with us about that this morning, it's Dr. Ronnie Bowler, who is the CEO of and a vitreoretina surgeon, and we are going to find out about how we can observe Healthy Vision Month, as well as get some more information about common eye disorders and emergency cases. Good morning, Dr. Bowler.
Good morning, and thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for being with us this morning. Now, in your vitreoretina surgeon. So first for us, describe what that entails and what you do as a vitreoretina. It's hard to pronounce. Vitreoretina surgeon.
It is. So the vitreous and retina is described as the back of the eye. So what we specialize in is diabetic eye conditions like bleeding in the eyes or swelling in the retina. So a lot of the retinal surgery, which is one of the more complex surgeries in the world, we are able to do right here in Trinidad, some of the most advanced things. And we are able to take care of one of the more common blinding conditions of the eye, which is the retina and the diabetic.
Now, what would be considered an emergency situation, and what are some of the things the patient would experience that would tell them, okay, it's an emergency now?
Yeah, so this pandemic is pushing us into a little corner in that we have to try now and figure out what are the emergency eye things that we need to come outside and get to the eye doctor.
Right.
And I think it's a good thing that you could do your own little triaging by your symptoms at home. So, three things stand out to me when you're trying to figure out if this is an emergency or not. One, if you just notice your vision's gone blurry suddenly. So you get a sudden drop in your vision.
Right.
That sounds to me like you have to call somebody to like an eye doctor or your eye professional to get some advice. If you notice the eyes all of a sudden it starts to get painful and red. Red means inflammation in the eye. Right. Pain usually is a symptom of something going on there that you need to go and see the eye doctor about or your eye professional about. The good news is we are on the emergency list. So we are still open for emergencies because we don't want anybody to lose their eyes while we have a temporary situation that is going to resolve. And we don't want to be blind afterwards.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. People are losing their vision permanently during this time in which this temporary time in which things are withdrawn a little bit.
Exactly.
Now, doctor, people have a lot more screen time and stuff right now because everything is online, everything is virtual, looking at screens in their computer, their phones, and things like that. What are some of the ramifications of this?
Yeah, so while you have to stay indoors, you might be having the fan on facing you, you might be on the Zoom meeting, you might be on your screen, on the Facebook. What happens there is you keep your eyes open for quite a bit of time and the eye starts drying out on you. And especially if the air conditioner is on, it sucks all the moisture out the air. So you have to become aware that this is going to be a little bit of an issue. You're going to get a little more dryness on the surface of the eye. Right. So what you need to do is to try and follow some really basic rules. We call it the 20-20 rule. That's a nice one. Every 20 minutes, you just close your eyes for 20 seconds and you give your eyes a little break from focusing really near. That's one good thing. You rest the eye muscles and you also re-lubricate the eye as you're going along. So it's a nice one to do. Make sure when you do take your little 20-minute break in the morning and then your lunch, make sure you come off the screens, come off your phone, come off your computers, and just look out in the distance and rest the eyes and rest the muscles.
Dr. Bowler, good morning to you. Sorry, Carrie. Good morning to you, Dr. Bowler. So you speak about dealing with the back of the eye, the retina. But what are some of the conditions that might happen with the retina that may require surgery?
Yes, so some people might start to experience something like a shadow in the vision, or they may experience floaters in the vision. You know, if you're diabetic and you start to see floaters, this could be blood. This is an emergency. You need to come in. So diabetics are a little different from your general population. So if you start to see some little red floaters, this is serious. We have to see you because we may need to start administering injections or laser to prevent you from having to go to surgery. So if you're having any problems like a shadow coming across your vision, wavy vision, or something like that, those are also retinal emergencies.
Mm. Well, it's interesting that these things, you know, because I am positive that there's somebody out there who might have been getting those floaters, including myself. But I went and got tested, and they told me that it was long-term steroid use. So is it that, you know, I mean, right now we are in a pandemic. You said that, you know, it is ophthalmologists that are open still so that people can get their surgeries done if necessary. But the thing is, a lot of times as people, we don't consider our eyes as emergency. We'll be having all of these problems and we just ignore it, or we'll be like, oh, the pressure high, you know, or, oh, I didn't sleep so well, so that's why my eyes like this. What do you say to those people to ensure that we don't keep losing people, which is what happens, especially for those who are diabetic? We don't keep losing people. What do you say to them so that they pay attention to what's happening? Because as you mentioned earlier, we come from the screen, but we go straight to our phones. We're not on Zoom and we just pick it up and be like, so the eyes aren't resting either.
Correct. You know, screening can't be overemphasized. When we pick up things early, we intervene with small treatments in the clinic. When we pick up things late, we go to surgery. And as a vitreoretinal surgeon, when we go to surgery, we usually don't get the type of results we get if we catch you early and we manage you. And this is a serious thing. We have developed a diabetic eye screening program. We screen 3,000 to 4,000 people already. And year on year, we keep screening more and more. And we have saved a lot of people's eyesight. I mean, they're so thankful.
And how often is it recommended that you get screening?
Once
Whether
a year.
For diabetic patients and then for other people who aren't
population.
diabetic.
Yeah, I think once a year, if you're diabetic, you have to get your eyes screened. And screening now is more advanced methods. We use photographic screening, which means if I screen you this year, I have a record of the inside of your eye. And when I keep tracking you, I could tell when you develop your first little problem. So screening has really advanced. Diabetic screening is wonderful.
Now, if you're not diabetic, is there a specific amount or is there a recommended amount of times per year or so that you should get screened as well?
I think it's reasonable to see your eye doctor once every 2 years. If you're not diabetic, not hypertensive, and you're seeing pretty okay.
Right.
And one of the things that could develop a little later on, and you know, you really need to be looking out for, is the glaucoma, because glaucoma is a silent thief of sight. So you wouldn't know that this is going on unless a professional has a look at your nerve in the eye and starts to do all the testing for you. So once every 2 years, I would recommend you see an eye doctor. If they have any suspicion, then they'll do something called a glaucoma screen, which is a set of tests to look deeper into the eye.
So retina screening, glaucoma screening, are there any other kinds of screening that we do for eyes?
Yes, so the third one that I think we have to have a national program for is vision screening in kids. You know, we have kids out there who really just need a pair of glasses or something simple to just get them going in schools. So we need a really good school screening program to ensure we don't miss children who just need some simple treatment to get them going in class.
Wow. And do we have a lot of that in the society where we have a lot of children who are affected by some kind of eye disease or some kind of eye problem?
So myopia or refractive problems in kids is growing, and it's growing because of the screen. The more you spend time focusing there, is the more likely you are to get more and more myopic. So it's a growing problem within the society. And one of the things that we have with the Trinidad Eye Hospital, which is a non-profit part of the business, is that we are developing more and more screening programs to ensure that we could catch these myopics and treat them from early. Tell them go outside, play more.
If only it was so easy to get them. Well, and now, especially in the pandemic and the lockdown, not so easy to get them to go outside and play because, we all need to stay in. But, Doctor, I want to thank you so much for your time this morning. And if someone needed to contact you or another eye professional within the organization you work, how could we do so?
Well, you can contact us on 235-4834. And we have 3 branches, one in Maraval, St. Augustine, and Masca, for your convenience. If you need to come in, really, we definitely follow every single COVID guideline, a little excessively because we're obviously medical,
right.
And really don't be worried. You'll probably be the only person there or one of 3, and it's all spaced out. So, feel comfortable that everything's being followed.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank you so much, Dr. Ronnie Bola, CEO and vitreoretina surgeon at the Trinidad Eye Hospital. So you can reach out and get more information as well and call in case of an emergency. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take that break, and when we come back, we have much more right here on the Now Morning Show.